Welcome back to another episode of Chicago Hockey Radio. I'm Lee Grossman. With me, Tassos Kirkos, and on Zoom, Justin Lynch. Boys, how was the weekend?
Well, been better if not for the Bears. They fucked us over for the second consecutive week. So other than that, it was great. Yeah, just chilled. And, yeah.
I can't keep watching that team, man. That offense is doing something to my mental health.
Yeah, no, that was a very winnable game too. Second consecutive week, a winnable game, and we just found a way to lose. So
yeah.
You guys worried about Caleb Williams or no?
Dude, he threw for like almost 400 yards. It's gonna take some time. I'm not giving up. It's week 3. Like, you can't give up this early. But to be fair, we were promised greatness. We
the glazing was crazy going into the season. I mean, they're
yeah, I agree. The glazing was crazy, but also that was kind of like the expectations that were on him were like mostly there because of the way he acts, which I love. Like, I like that he's kind of an asshole. I like that other people around the league don't like him. I think that's a good trait for your star quarterback.
He definitely has personality for sure.
Yeah. But first 3 weeks have not gone according to plan, and they have not looked very good, especially the offense. The defense, on the other hand, is like maybe the best in the NFL. Like, they're so good. They're keeping them in these games that they have no business being in.
The coaching's been atrocious too. That and the O-line's been terrible.
Yeah, play call's been bad, but this is unfortunately not a Chicago Bears show.
Well, no. Can I ask one more?
Fortunately, I'd say.
Can I ask one more Bears question?
Yeah.
And this is just like Connor Bedard. This is more of a statement. It's not a question. Connor Bedard is a way better hockey player than Caleb Williams is a football player.
Yes.
Not even close.
I don't think it's close, but some people would say otherwise and say, I think Caleb's franchise, I think Bedard's generational. I think there's a difference there. Yeah.
I think Caleb can be generational. Connor's start was significantly better than Caleb's start.
On a much worse team, too.
Yeah. But again, it's week 3, That'd be like us saying after 2 games, if he only had 1 point, which he did do pretty well in his first couple games. But
I'd say more like,
if he hadn't, you wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, this kid might not
I
be
would say more
generational.
like 10, because 82 games versus 17, so you got to take that into account. But I agree with you.
But yes, I'd say yes, Connor, to answer the question, Connor Bedard is better at hockey than Caleb Williams is at football.
Yeah. Because last year there was a lot of like Bedard Wembanyama talk.
Yeah.
That's a more fair comp, I think.
I think so too. But again, I think it's too quick to judge. Although a lot of my friends that don't like the Bears have been absolutely destroying me every single week, and I can't do it anymore.
Like Packers fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the worst. So annoying.
Yeah. Especially after they just beat the Titans without Jordan Love. But anyway.
All right. Hawks Hour, though.
Let's get to the Blackhawks.
So to the Blackhawks then. Lee, you got to bring a bit more energy too into the intro.
Okay. I guess I can do that.
We're jamming away to rock music out here, and you gotta bring the heat a little bit. Okay, so Blackhawks training camp. They have yet to play a preseason game, although preseason has begun around the National Hockey League this weekend, which was very nice. I don't know about the two of you guys, but that was very nice to at least have the option to watch a handful of the games. That was fun to watch. But the Hawks don't play until Wednesday, so we will even have another show before they play a hockey game. But a few more days of practice underneath the Hawks' belt, and they start Wednesday against the Red Wings. So, thoughts? We could talk Seth Jones a little bit, or we could talk. What are your thoughts, Justin? How have things been going for you? What do you think?
I've enjoyed this training camp. I like the philosophy they brought in place. It looks like more scrimmages today. It seemed like that's all they've been doing. Every time I check in on training camp, it's they're scrimmaging. They're not doing any drills or shit. So I like that. It seems like they're ready to go. I think they even said that they're kind of sick of playing each other, like they're ready to play other teams. So I think you'll see that on Wednesday. I think you'll see mostly, not entirely, probably mostly NHL lineup because, first preseason game at home in the United Center, you want to play most of your top guys, but you'll give some of those prospects a chance too. Some of those guys fighting for roster spots. And then normally it's the away games where it's like you play your prospects, minor leaguers, and that's kind of, lesser, not as much NHL guys. But no, I'm excited for Wednesday against the Wings. Looking forward to that. And yeah, no, definitely should be entertaining.
Do we know who's going to play? Like, is it going to be some of the top guys? You think?
I'm
Bedard
just
plays?
assuming. I'm just
I
assuming.
hope so, and I've also
Yeah.
it seems like there's been some continuity so far with like lines that they've been running at training camp. I've heard that Bedard, Hall, and Bertuzzi have been like a line pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So it'll be like I'm excited to see. Hopefully on Wednesday they roll those guys out and play them together.
Yeah.
I would think so. The fact that they've kept those lines together like the last few training camp days tells us that's probably what they're going to roll on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then the second line, Reichel, Kurashev, Teravainen, that should be pretty fun too. I think Reichel's definitely going to be like the guy to watch at preseason. Like that guy needs to make a statement and assert himself in that top six. That's kind of what Davidson said. Like we expect him to compete for a top six spot, and hopefully he earns that in training camp. I've
They're
heard some
kinda
good
giving
things
it to him right away.
Yeah. It seems like it. I'm almost surprised by that. I thought they kind of start him off lower and then he work his way up. But and also another player, Frank Nazar. I heard that Lardis Nazar dock line's been really good.
Yeah.
So that there definitely be 3 players to watch. I mean, obviously Lars can go back to juniors. Doc, I imagine, is going to be in Rockford. But of those 3, maybe Nazar. Hopefully he has a shot to make the team. I think he does. But the fact that they kind of have him that lower slot, I don't know. He might be more inclined towards Rockford, but I hope he proves them wrong and plays so good that it gives the team no choice but to have him on the Hawks. So we'll see.
Yeah. And sorry to cut you off. I hope they give him like good minutes in these preseason
They
games.
will.
You know, like
Richardson,
give him looks on the power play. Give him offensive
Who,
minutes.
Reichel or Nazar?
Nazar, like
Nazar.
Put him in there on offensive draws. You know, get him good looks. Boost his confidence, make him look as good as possible, and then if you want him to go to Rockford for to start the season, that's fine. But it's preseason, like it means nothing. I want to see as many prospects honestly as possible.
I think you'll see that too. Like Richardson said, like those players competing for spots, like Nazar, like Slager, like Korchinski, Kaiser, etc. They're gonna play the majority of the games, 4, 5, 6 games. So I think they'll get those chances, and hopefully they convert on them. Yeah.
So you think? Because Reichel has sort of been given this spot here on the second line there to start this camp out. And you think Nazar's the guy that they're just waiting for if Reichel makes it obvious that he's not long for that second line left wing spot?
Yeah, but also I think maybe Nazar, they want him playing the center position. I don't know.
Well, they could put him in the middle on that line.
Or they could be on the third line. He might not be top 6. They might start him off lower in the lineup, and then he works his way up there. Yeah. The fact that Kurashev's at center right now, I don't know if they're going to keep Kurashev at 2C necessarily. I think they prefer Nazar to be the 2C, but they don't want to start him there right away. So I think they just kind of work his way up to that point and then move Kurashev back to the wing. That would have to drop somebody down, though. So, how that would work, who knows?
Yeah. And the Reichel's clock is ticking,
Yeah, he needs to perform. Yeah.
He's got to perform well, especially in the preseason. Like, if he just looks awful... Like, in especially now that this team, that there's enough NHLers on this team, like he
has no excuses.
Yeah, they can't send him to Rockford. It's like he's not going to just get to play, even though he's playing horribly and not performing. Like, I'm sure he'll go down to Rockford if he doesn't perform this year.
I don't think there's a Blackhawk on this team that has more pressure the season before him than Lucas Reichel. Like this is his year to break out, bounce back. Like there's no excuses this year. He's got to perform. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you want to go to the game on Wednesday?
The preseason game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be down. I wish we had T-shirts made to be able to do that.
Well,
but
I wish I wasn't in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, true.
We have all year to do that. We'll get our T-shirts.
Yeah, I know.
It's week 1 of.
We want to. Yeah, I know. We want to be handing stuff out to the people, though. We want to. No.
Okay. Well, we don't have T-shirts. So.
Yeah. No.
Well, get on that, guys. Get those T-shirts ready.
Also,
what are you guys doing?
Also, like the screen thing, it's like
it takes some time.
It takes
Yeah. It takes some time.
It's not like a one-day thing.
No, I didn't think it was, but yes,
I'll enjoy the games over here. Yeah.
Let's go to the game. So can we talk about Tyler Bertuzzi for a second? Just because, this guy has the potential to really be a big piece and needle mover on this team this year. He's an agitator. He can put pucks in the net. He's a little streaky, but he's probably the most competent, in his prime winger that Connor Bedard has played with, obviously, since being in the National Hockey League. He went through stretches last year though where he wasn't scoring, and it was kind of, some puck luck, but maybe it's just like the weight of expectations now kind of being off of him.
Yeah.
Might be a big boon for his game.
It definitely seems like that's the plan initially. Like, yeah, I mean, pretty consistently, the line's been Hall, Bedard, Bertuzzi. So it looks like he's going to get that initial runway. We'll see what he does. I think you'll see them together in the preseason game Wednesday. But no, I think he's kind of the perfect complement away. He kind of gets in all the physical areas, the puck battles, gets the puck to Bedsy and Hall, and they can work their magic. I like to see Tavo on that line eventually. I think he'd be a great complement to Bedsy, just his passing ability and getting the puck. I think you'll see a lot more goals from Bedard this year as a result of that, but also more assists because he can feed Bertuzzi well, and I think you'll see a lot of tip-ins, a lot of rebounds, things like that from him. A lot of goals in that kind of slot. So I like the prospect of what he could bring to that line.
He has hands though too. Like
he does. Yeah. I'm just kind of talking about like his main like strengths. I think he complements that line. Complements Bedard well, and I think you'll see that. I think they'll have good chemistry. You've kind of seen some clips of it in the training camp of that line working together, the forechecking, Hall especially. That's another guy. I think Hall and Bertuzzi. I think the potential they have on Bedard's wings, they could both have career, well, maybe more in the case of Bertuzzi, more than Hall career years. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
I think also in general, this spot like that the Blackhawks are in is perfect for like an established forward in the NHL who maybe has struggled in past teams. It's like they're at this like sweet spot of they don't have pressure on them really. Like Tyler Bertuzzi, if he's not that good, it's not going to be the same type of scrutiny, I think, as maybe if he was in Toronto, And so I think that's going to be beneficial for these guys. Like even Teravainen now, it's like these guys could pop off because there's no expectations of this team. Like we've said, maybe a spot above last in the conference, in the division, So I think it'll give room for these guys to like be themselves and,
and I think both Tavo and Bertuzzi have potential at career years. And like, I think they're both 30 years old, right? 29, 30. And that's kind of prime age right there with a burgeoning Bedard. I mean, those guys could put up, 60, 70 points this season, I think. Yeah. It's possible.
And especially they're now like undoubtedly like the best players on the team, whereas on their past clubs, they might have been realistically second line players and whatnot. Yeah. You're going to be getting all those more offensive zone draws. You're going to be getting the looks on the power play. So, they're going to be the first look guys. So I think career years is very realistic for those two.
For sure. No.
Yeah, I like the addition of Bertuzzi. He's just got to, not get in his own head and use that nice touch he has around the net and, put his stick down and hit the net sometimes and, he misses some open looks sometimes.
I think Kurashev's has a lot to prove too. I do find it interesting that they haven't started him off with Bedard, which I like that. I know there are people who wanted with Bedsy, and I understand the argument, but it looks like at least initially that's not going to be the case. But it's at least first couple preseason games in training camp, they've been separated. So will Kurashev be able to replicate or even build off of last season without Bedard to rely upon? At least that appears to be the case so at the start. So that'll be an interesting storyline to watch as well. What he could do with Reichel, maybe those two could form good chemistry similar to what Kurashev and Bedsy had last year. And then Tavo, at least to start that second line, like that'll be interesting to see. Will he eventually kind of knock Hall off of that spot? Like that top six battle is gonna be a lot of fun to watch. I think there's a lot of pieces there, and yeah, I think that'll be definitely development to watch as the season goes along, because it's definitely going to go through changes and stuff with the combos. So
yeah, I think this is going to be like a fun season in general to watch, like especially if some of these guys are like succeeding really well and we're scoring goals and hanging in games. It's going to be fun to watch them have fun. I'm a little like sussed out about Kurashev and Reichel. Just because they tried to do that line last year with Bedsy, and it was them three together, and it was just so much defensive liability,
Well, you got Tavo on that line, though, and Tavo's pretty good defensively. He's definitely much better than Athanasiou in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I just like we don't want them in positions where like they're on lines with guys that are gonna make them look worse. Like. I guess I don't know who the perfect line would be for Reichel or what. I don't know if it'd be better to have him on the second line or have him on the third line.
Yeah, I almost feel like third line of Athanasiou might be better, but then you got Bump Dickinson down to fourth or up to second. So that's just kind of something they have to balance. But yeah.
So it took Sidney Crosby and the Penguins 4 seasons after he was drafted to win the Stanley Cup. They went to the final the year beforehand, lost to the same Detroit Red Wings team that they beat in 2009. Can this team can this Hawks team like build a Stanley Cup champion that quickly? I would assume they made the playoffs the second. I think they made the playoffs the second year he was in the league, although they might have missed.
I think for us, it would be a year later than them. I think like maybe 5th year. I think you can build a playoff contender as soon as next season, I think. But I don't think you expect us to follow that same track of playoffs this year. That's not going to happen. But I think we'll definitely be better, though. But yeah, I mean, maybe 25, 26, playoffs, 26, 27, you're in contention, 27, 28, you're established. That's kind of the way I see it. What do you think?
I think it could be a year earlier. I think next year we make the playoffs. And then I think that's when you go out and the following season you look for a superstar to add to this roster. And then I think once you have that, if the goaltending's in order and we know what we're doing there, I think they definitely could. Also, the Hawks won 3 years after Kane got drafted?
That's right.
In 2007. Won the cup in 2010.
Yeah, that team was in a much different spot, though, because Kane was like the last kind of big piece almost, whereas Bedard was not the first, but he's kind of in the middle. So the trajectory is not the same. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
That's true.
Sidney Crosby had 36 goals, 84 assists for 120 points in 79 games his second year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
How many points?
120.
I think Bedsy can put up 40, 60, 100, but 120, yeah, no.
Yeah,
120 is a lot.
That's a big ask.
120 could win MVP this year.
How many did Nathan McKinnon have last year?
He had
like
140 something. 144?
Kucherov had 144. McKinnon had 140. McDavid had 132. But that last year was not a normal year.
I think there are going to be people that score like
that. I don't think you have 200 this season.
You think that's the new norm? Is 140 plus?
I think it could be maybe around there where you have some. I think the skill level in the league is higher than it probably has ever been right now.
I think that's fair to say.
I feel like it's kind of changes from year to year. Like these scoring things, they go through dips and valleys, right? Like scoring was really high kind of post lockout, then it dropped. Now it's kind of coming back, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to keep going up because, goalies get better too. So it kind of changes from year to year. It could be the same, but last year, I agree with Lee. I think it's going to be hard to replicate that. Really? I don't know if we're going to see
I'd
200 assist seasons again. I don't know about that.
No. I'd look to bet unders for a lot of those guys who put up crazy, dude, Kucherov had 100 assists and almost 50. He had 44 goals.
McDavid could get 150 points this year.
McDavid is the only exception. McDavid.
Well, yeah, McDavid's McDavid. I mean,
he's going to be great every single year, but that's.
I don't think Kucherov and McKinnon put up 140 points again. Yeah.
Yeah, but McKinnon could. You guys don't think Nathan McKinnon could?
I think that team's so much worse.
He could, but I don't know. I just don't think it'll happen.
You got Mikko Rantanen in a contract here. I don't know. I also think Mitch Marner is going to have a big season in Toronto. He could score 130 points. He has the talent.
I don't know about that.
He has the talent 1,000% to score 120 points in the National Hockey League.
Does he have the drive?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Can he do it during the playoffs?
Draisaitl could do it.
No.
We're talking about McDavid only, but Leon Draisaitl could score 120 points. It'll be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that the jump up this year in points, I don't think it's going to be. I agree with you, Justin. I don't think they're going to score that many points. And again, 120 points is very different from 144 points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I agree with you.
So I guess I'm not saying that nobody's going to score over 110 points, but
110 is different than all right.
I think we need to get back to the Hawks here, boys.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It was just because I was talking about Sid and wanting to see where this team was, and I don't know if Connor Bedard is scoring 120 points this year, but
also
maybe.
I'd rather do this than talk about the Anaheim Ducks preseason game yesterday, personally. But
did the Anaheim Ducks play a preseason game yesterday?
I was just using that as an example.
What happened, man?
I saw Celebrini had a goal and assist.
That was a
rip. Don't tell me about it.
That was a rip of a shot. And the pass to Toffoli, too, was sick.
Yeah, he did look good, admittedly.
What do you think? How do you think he's going to perform this year? I bet his
50 points.
50?
50, yeah.
I bet
50 points.
I bet under 54 points.
Under 54?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pretty close then.
Yeah. I think on the high end he could.
Assuming healthy season, 50 points.
You got to assume healthy season, and then also that they're not absolute dog shit.
Yeah,
they'll be dog shit. Hopefully not absolutely dog shit, man.
Because if they look horrible and he's just kind of getting bullied, like if he's think about it, like he's probably slower than Bedard,
Yeah.
it might take him a little longer to adapt.
I think what goes his favor though is like the defense and goaltending sucks, but the offense is actually not that. Like actually looks pretty decent on that team. So I think he has more pieces than Bedard has rookie season, but he's not Bedard. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna match Bedsy's season even if he plays of 42 games. I don't think he's gonna put up 60 points, but I think 50 is pretty realistic for him, like a Taze like rookie season now.
Who do you think wins Calder this year?
Either him or I wouldn't put it past Michkov in Philly. I think he's got a good shot, or Stan Coven in Dallas. I'd like to say Frank Nazar in Chicago, but I don't know if he's going to be on the team. So
I heard Michkov's skating is a little wonky. Wonky.
Really?
I heard the boots are.
I know he tried to do the Michigan in like training camp. I don't know how sports.
I was going to bet his under too, but I didn't do that. He has the best odds to win the Calder.
He does.
Michkov.
Yeah, there's actually a preseason game going on right now. Blue Jackets Sabres.
Ooh.
Yeah,
need to tune into that.
Barn burner.
Barn burner 1-1.
How about Utah's first ever goal on their own net? That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Was it bad?
Yeah, Genther shot it in the back. Yeah, banked
that's
it off the boards
that's a great omen for your franchise there.
Was their goalie pulled?
Yeah, he was pulled. It's like delayed penalty.
Oh my gosh.
And they so we could talk about Seth Jones for a second, or you guys want to talk about the Bedard clip of his expectations this season?
Oh, either or. Yeah,
let's do the Bedard clip. Raven.
Yeah, I'd rather go with Bedsy over Seth. Yeah, for sure.
Raven?
What your goals are, or do you just kind of like see how things play out?
Yeah, I mean, I'd never tell you, but I have stuff in my head for sure. And last year, it's super cool, and I don't take any of it for granted, but it's definitely a lot of stuff, and it's something you always want, and it's great, but once it's done, you don't want to do it again. So it was a good summer.
Are you a guy that
it turns me on a little bit hearing that?
Betsy turns me on a lot.
Yeah. What do you guys think about what do you think his own expectations of himself are?
If I had to guess, I think he wants to be at least a point per game player, at least. I would say, I think realistically, I think he'd probably be thinking around 85, 90 points. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
I put it 100 plus, but I don't know. I think he's probably more realistic than
I bet he wants to score more goals.
Yes, I think I'm surprised he only had 22 last year. It's kind of shocking when you hear that, but I think at least 30 this year. I think at least.
I feel like the misconception with him, and this is what I realized watching him every game this past year, was that I guess the comparison that I was hearing all the time was Matthews because of the release and the shot.
I think he's more a playmaker, like
he's
Kaner, to be honest.
He's more of a playmaker than he is a goal scorer. He has a great shot. He just has one of the best shots in the world.
He does, but I think his vision and playmaking IQ, that's what drives him.
Yeah, sure. When he goes in the offensive zone, he slows the puck down and he's immediately looking for little sauce passes and stuff. That's the Kane, the Kucherov style play. In my opinion, that's what he looks like. He looks like he's almost a pass first guy, and then when he gets closer to the net, he's like, all right, look off a pass and then rip it with that toe drag release.
He's a center, plays like a natural winger in a way.
Yeah.
I think he could score 50 goals this year.
I
think that's what Biz and Spin Checklets got. I think they said that. Apparently he's ripped this year. His training routine and strength, his offseason routine's been nuts. I think he's been climbing mountains over there in Vancouver. So I think
he's posted that.
Yeah. So I think he's ready to go. I think 100 points, not a question.
50 and 50. That'd be pretty cool.
Fuck it, 50-50. Let's just go all in on that now. 50-50.
I really do think there's a chance that he looks above and beyond what we're expecting.
Yes.
I could easily see him breaking 100 points this year, even though his line was 79.
And I think people are underrating just how much better this team is and how much that'll help him out too. Not just his year 1 to year 2 progression, but my God, he was playing at an AHL team last season. This is an actual NHL lineup. It might not be a good one, but it's an NHL lineup with NHL caliber players to play with, and that in itself.
And a couple. Maybe not a good NHL roster, but there are a couple of really good NHL players.
It's competent. It's competent. Yeah.
All right. This is from Tab Bamford of Bleacher Nation. I guess he's a Hawks reporter for them. Talking about Seth Jones and some blue line changes. This is from the article. He spoke with Seth Jones for a few minutes about the competition between young defensemen in camp. Confirmed that the Blackhawks coaches are indeed going to split him from Alex Vlasic to start the season. He's been working with Alec Martinez in practice and said they are going to start the season together.
No, not a fan. Not a fan.
Not a fan?
Not a fan.
Why?
Because they worked so well together last year. Seth Jones played by far his best hockey as a Blackhawk when he was with Alex Vlasic. That connection was cooking. That deep pair was great last season for us. And now you want to split them up. I understand maybe the argument is you're kind of spreading out wealth, spreading out power amongst the deep pairs. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. But I mean, Martinez is great, but I don't want him in the first pair. And if it's Jones and Brody with Vlasic, I'd rather pair Martinez and Brody together and then they keep that Vlasic Jones connection on the top pair. And the third pair could be one of Korchinski, Kaiser, and Murphy. That's the way I do it. That's pretty much the way I saw every single projection. I actually agreed with it. So I don't know. I think those deep pairs don't make a whole lot of sense, but maybe you guys disagree with me. I'd like to hear it.
I think spreading the wealth is for this year, I guess it makes sense, but it's so nearsighted to do that. It's like if what we're talking about now, if we're projecting, a playoff push next year, maybe a contender in a couple years, why are you not just focusing on the future? I understand you want to be more competitive this year, but you can do that with similar pairings and keep continuity amongst these defensemen so that in year 3, 4, 5 together, they're lights out and they're clicking and they always know where each other are. It does not really make any sense to do that, in my opinion.
After a great rookie season from Alex Vlasic, you just extend him for 6 years, and now you want to build on that season, right? So then you decide to throw him in the second pair away from his partner from last season, Seth Jones. That doesn't make any sense.
And him and Jones are our future. Realistically, that's probably our future 1-2 as of right now.
At least for the next, few years.
I hate saying that Seth Jones is our future, but he is because of the term that we have him at. We've got him for a few more years. He's a part of the future of this roster. Martinez, that does make sense to me, but I think they just want to be as good and competitive as possible this year, which you can't rip on, but it's I still think you can do that by keeping your two best defenders together.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, to be honest. I think that spreading power, it applies more to forwards too. I could understand splitting Bedard and Kurashev. I like that for that reason, but not to defense. That's not, having those good deep pairs, that's so damn important, man.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Why Kaiser also playing a lot with Kevin Korchinski or with Connor Murphy?
Yeah, I think he not a lock to make the team, but it's looking like Kaiser's definitely that top guy right now amongst those young defensemen. The fact that he's been so consistently paired with Murphy and Korchinski. I mean, right now it looks like the 70, which if that's the case, I want Kevin on the Hawks. So let me make that clear. But if he's going to be the 7th defenseman, I think he'd be better suited on Rockford. That's what I think. I think just having him on the bench all this time, I don't like that. So I think if you're going to make him the 7th D, just having Light Dogs, put Phillips or Krebe or I don't know, Del Mastro as a 7th defenseman, and then when he's ready, call him up. That's the
I
way
think
I
you
see
got to
that.
put
If you're going to have Kaiser in the lineup.
I think you got to put Korchinski up with Jones. That's what I would do. I would put Korchinski with Jones. If you are going to split up Vlasic and Jones, I'd put Kevin KK up there and see what he could do up there. Give him some extended runway, maybe the first 20 games even of the season up with Seth, seeing if he can eat the minutes like that.
And then you do Vlasic with Martinez.
Yeah, probably.
And then what? Brody and Murphy.
Yeah.
As your third pair.
Yeah.
I don't hate the idea. I think it's better than. I think it's better than this. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's true. If you're splitting up Vlasic in Jones, you should be doing it for a better reason than spreading the wealth amongst your defensemen.
Give another defenseman with an actual future here a chance, not a guy we signed for 1 season. So it doesn't make any sense, man. I don't get it. We're still rebuilding. They do understand. They do realize that, right?
I hate that though. That teams, and I guess I understand it. If you're a player foremost, I understand that nobody on the Hawks this year going into the season is we're rebuilding this year. They all want to make the playoffs. They all want to win as many games as possible. I understand that, and I guess I understand it kind of somewhat from the coach's perspective too. But you gotta I hate how like nearsighted it has to be. Like you can never say that you're rebuilding or retooling or trying to get high draft picks. You can never come out and say that. But it's like you don't have to. But then do the best thing for the young guys on this roster to develop as good as possible.
And I feel like it shows. I feel like Davidson and Richardson aren't always on the same page too. I think if it was Davidson, I think he prefer what we're saying, right? I think he prefer have those young guys up there, but I don't know. I think Richardson definitely he prefers his best. So
Yeah.
I think, like, I don't know that one of you, I think Lee said that he thinks Vlasic and Jones are the 1-2 for Chicago. I think Alex Vlasic tops out as a number 3 guy on a Stanley Cup winning blue line. On a Stanley Cup winning blue line. That's why I say you need to put Kevin Korchinski up there, because it's almost like a quarterback in football back to the Bears. It would be no good for the Chicago Bears to let Caleb Williams sit on the bench, correct?
Yeah.
You got to play him. You got to find out if he's your guy.
Yeah. I think the plan for the Hawks on the defense is Korchinski, Levshinov. Like that's the hopeful top pair. Levshinov's the one guy, Korchinski 2, and then Vlasic Jones would be the second pair. So I think the Hawks' vision, would agree with that. But obviously that's not the case right now. We got to wait for Artie. So and then Kevin's got to develop. But I think
Kevin
down the road
play.
that is the plan.
Let Kevin play then.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I agree with you. No, I
Do
totally
you think
agree.
do you think Kevin can be a true number 1?
I think he's more of a number 2. I think he can be number 1, but I think with Levshinov, I think that kind of takes some of the pressure off him where he's expected to be a number 1, then Kevin number 2.
But then what are their roles together? Is Kevin more the playmaker and
I think, yeah, you'd be more like the offensive side of the game, and then Artie would be there to kind of check and balance him out.
They both can quarterback a power play.
Yeah, because I know Artie's got good offensive instincts this game too, but probably a bit more responsible defensively than Kevin is. I mean, Kevin's kind of a fourth forward out there sometimes the way he plays. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I mean, if it works out, it's awesome because I think Vlasic as a number 3 is amazing.
That's a Nick Jalmerson.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's a great comparison.
That'd be an unbelievable number 3 to have. I wouldn't complain, but I don't know. Just from what I've seen from Kevin, he's got a long ways to go.
Yeah, he does.
Any other thoughts?
I think he's better
camp?
off on the Hawks, for sure.
Any other thoughts from training camp?
No,
I think so.
I'm excited to go to this game on Wednesday.
I feel feels bad over here.
Justin.
I'm stuck over here in Ohio.
we need to fly him out.
All right, let's do.
Get
They invented that
out.
thing from Star Trek where it's like you could just transport from one spot to another. How has that not been invented yet?
Let's do fake trade proposals. So Lee brought up an idea for a segment, so we're giving it a whirl. I can't take credit for this this trade proposal. I found it online from a website called heavy.com. Cole Shelton from heavy.com has a trade pitch that has the Red Wings adding star $76 million defenseman in Blockbuster. That's the headline for his article.
Seth Jones?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes.
So
don't even need the rest of it.
That'll do it for me.
This is the trade.
Patrick Kane in return.
Seth Jones.
Such a shit.
Seth Jones to the Detroit Red Wings for JT Compher, Justin Hall, and the 2025 third-round draft pick that belongs to the Boston Bruins.
A third-round pick, you said?
A third-round pick.
Who's retaining?
Yeah, how's the salary situation?
I think the salary was straight up.
Just straight up, just dumping it all.
Just getting rid of Seth Jones.
Well, JT Compher, and JT Compher's a player.
Yeah,
I feel like
he's not a very good one.
To be honest, I feel
think.
like right now that
Red Wings
trade
games.
doesn't make a lot of sense. I feel like our offense is kind of set, and then you want to throw that in the mix. Like I like Comfort, but that's just not really what we need right now.
He's a Chicago guy too.
He is, yeah. I mean, I think Seth. I don't know. It's I watch. I love to see that. I feel like we're kind of stuck with him. And I see these proposals all the time with Seth. These rumors. I just think it's a whole bunch of nonsense.
It's never going to happen. But we've said this on the show already. But I don't hate Seth Jones because I think he's a bad player. I just don't.
You see the numbers.
It's just the contract.
Think he's
it's
worth
literally just
9
the contract.
It's only the contract.
Yeah.
If he was making 6 or 7, he'd be great.
Yeah. I'd be like, Seth Jones is really good.
And it's not even a problem right now because it's not like
No, it
Hawks
isn't.
are tight for cap space.
Yeah, it's helping us out. It helped us reach the 4.
I'm actually going to say no deal.
No deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually agree with you. I was excited, but then I heard the return. I'm like, I'm not that doesn't move me.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything for me.
No.
All right.
Just-
I'd rather take like one prospect that's like a
Yes.
risk, that's like a gamble.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
give us. Oh, it was like a Danielson or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Actually, no, they wouldn't take that in a million years. That trade value would not make sense. So, but anyway,
The Red Wings are going to be interesting.
or Edvinsson, that'd probably make more sense. No, that wouldn't make any sense either. I'm just spitballing a bunch of nonsense.
Oh, Simon Edvinsson would be.
The
That
Red
That would be
Wings,
that would be a steal. That would not be a good trade for them.
Yeah.
the Red
Yeah.
Wings, I think, are in the same situation that a lot of teams in the NHL are, where they have a really good top six, they have a pretty good first D pairing, and then everything else is a little suspect.
Just is mid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'm not super high on their goaltending. I'm not high at all on their depth.
I don't think they're
Offensively-
high. I don't think anybody's high on their goaltending.
Yeah.
They got 4 goalies right now in camp that could all realistically play. They got Billy Husso, Alex Lyon, Cam Talbot, and Jack Campbell.
I'd go with Alex Lyon.
The Lion King.
The thing with Lyon is when he's on, he's really good. He's just streaky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can really expect Alex Lyon to play more than, what are we talking here? 6 out of
Like
10 games,
half-
like
Yeah.
6 out of any 10 games.
Yeah.
You
I wouldn't play him
more
more than 41 games. I don't think he's a starter. I
No.
think he's more of like a fringe starter, I guess. Yeah.
So
yeah,
then
they
who's
don't
the starter
they don't
there?
have one. Campbell?
I mean, I feel like Talbot's a starter. I mean, it's not great, but that's
so
probably their best option. I mean, he's okay. I don't know. He's not
Is
great.
Billy
but
Husso like done?
I don't know.
I don't know where he fits there. I mean, I guess they'll have 3 goalies again. Who knows?
Well, he's the highest paid goalie on the roster.
Yeah, but I wouldn't start him over either of those two. And
Why do they have so many goalies?
Well,
they're all mid. Like, no,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's kind of
Trade
why.
them all for one good one.
Yeah.
And they have
Buffalo.
one good, maybe 2 good defensemen, and then great. But the top 6 though is so good. Where it's like, I honestly think that alone could drag them into the playoffs.
That-
That's how
like
good
my
that top 6
fandom
is.
for Patrick Kane.
It's
and,
the
like,
bias.
It makes me want to. But realistically, they shouldn't
They
make the
shouldn't.
playoffs.
No, and they definitely, I think, based on like maybe overachieved a bit last year too. But yeah, we'll see.
Any thoughts from either of you about Jeremy Roenick and his Hall of Fame induction? He
Well, I
he
think
did a
that's
press
great.
conference here today.
Yeah, apparently he heard about it in a Starbucks and like apparently
Started
from a
crying.
barista or something. Which hearing that from JR of all people is like, wow, that just shows you how humbled he was. But I love to see it. I'm so glad he's finally in the Hall. Definitely very deserving. I've read his books. He's just an absolute legend, funny guy. And
He's hilarious.
just a legend of
Yeah.
the 90s, absolute legend. And he really embodies what you want to see out of a hockey player, just his heart and grit, his physicality, tenacity, hard work, and just super skill. He's like Patrick Kane, but like with physicality installed. And he was just so fun to watch, everything I hear about him. So, no, I'm really glad that he's in the Hall. Definitely well-deserving, and for sure. I wonder if the Hawks might think about 27 in the rafters one day.
Probably a top 10, top 15 Blackhawk of all time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think
Top
so.
15.
Dude, when you think about top 10, you got to think that
Yeah,
most of
top
them
15.
were from the 2010s team. They
Yeah.
won
Yeah.
3 of the Blackhawks'
Kane,
6 Stanley
Tays,
Cup.
Keith,
Like those
Seabrook,
guys are the best
Osa.
Blackhawks ever.
Yeah.
Like I know Bobby Holt,
Stan Mikita.
Stan
Stan
Mikita,
Mikita,
Esposito.
yeah.
I understand that,
Savard,
but we're talking about rings here.
Steve
Yeah.
Larmer.
Patrick Kane's the best Blackhawk ever.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, 100%. And like the legacy, the whole legacy aspect. Call it recency bias. I don't care.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. That'll do it for Hawks Hour. We're going to hit a break, and then when we come back, we'll break it down with the NHL Hour. Thanks for sticking with us on
Sweet.
Chicago Hockey Radio. Hour, Chicago Hockey Radio, Tassos Kirkos, Lee Grossman, Justin Lynch, Raven Gasser, producing today. NHL Hour, and Lee wanted to start with some blind rankings of NHL goalies.
Oh,
yes.
Here we
I'm
go.
going to list out 5 goalies. These 2 do not know who I'm going to say. They're going to rank them 1 through 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. You have to decide amongst yourselves what you want to do. The first goalie here is going to be Alex Gorgiev.
5. Yeah.
Okay.
Glad we're in agreement there.
All right.
Yeah.
Igor Shesterkin.
1.
1.
Yeah. All right.
Yep, man. There we go. We're cooking.
We're right on the money so far.
Yep.
UC Saros.
3.
Yeah. All right. I'll give
Yeah,
you
it could
that.
be 2. Could be 2, actually. You
All
want to
right.
say 3?
Yeah. Let's say 3.
We'll say 3. All right. Yeah, we'll see.
All right. UC Saros at 3.
He's about to give us like Casey to Smith now.
Jake Ottinger.
4.
Oh,
Ooh,
really?
Wow. I don't know if he's better than Saros though, but he could be at his best. He could be top 5, so he could be 2. You know what? We have to think about who it's gonna be next though, right?
Yeah,
so I
you
think,
think
probably 2.
Casey to Smith
All
is
right.
definitely coming up. Yeah. No, 2.
Watch it be Connor Hellebuyck or something.
It's Connor Hellebuyck.
All right.
God damn it! I knew
It's Connor Hellebuyck.
Gosh, I should have stuck with
All
my
right,
guts.
all right, but so now that you have the list, go 1 through 5. Gorgiev, Igor, Saros, Otter, Hellebuck.
I would do exactly what we did, except swap Ottinger and Connor Hellebuyck.
Yeah,
You like Igor
that's
more
what I was
than
thinking.
Hellebuyck?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like Jake Ottinger more than UC Saros.
Honestly,
too,
I
but-
think
I don't. I like UC
I think
Saros more
I
than
think you
Jake
could
Ottinger.
argue Hellebuyck at 1, but I understand Igor at 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
that was fun.
That was fun.
Let's do that. Let's do more of that. That would
Yeah.
be good for a clip.
Not a lot
yeah.
of contention in that one, though.
Well,
We had some debate. There, a little bit.
the thinking was that I was going to get you guys on that last one. You were thinking
Yeah.
you were going to save.
Yeah.
You were going to save a.
You were
low
thinking it was
spot.
going to be some plug, and I was thinking it might be some like league guy.
Realistically, what I thought you guys were going to do is I thought you guys were going to put Gorgiev at the 4 slot.
No, did you put?
No,
you
I
gave
was
us
not.
the-
No,
I-
that guy's not. He should not be a starter. He sucks.
Yeah,
He had the most wins in the NHL this year.
because he
Well,
played.
that's
I know,
wins.
I know,
That's
I
a
know.
irrelevant stat.
I don't know. No, he is ass.
yeah.
Wait, who are your top 5 goalies, Tassos?
Right now, Shesterkin. Oh boy.
Yeah. That's the problem is everybody loves
It's
to
tough.
say this guy's a top 5 goalie, and then when it's
But there's
time,
so
I
much
probably
good
have
ones.
7
Yeah.
top 5
you probably
goalies.
have like 10 top 5 goalies.
Probably
Because-
a 10.
alright,
yeah.
so
Right when you're done with your 5, I'm gonna give you 2 names, and I'm gonna make you.
yeah, people are gonna hate that I'm gonna
Score.
leave out some guys right now, but I'm gonna say Shesterkin 1. Let's say Hellebuck 2. Let's say Vasilevsky 3. I will say Vasilevsky 3. I mean, Ilya Sorokin deserves to be up there. So I'll probably put him 4. And it's so hard to leave Sergei Bobrovsky out of all this, considering
Yeah,
what he's
especially
done
how
the
he
last-
is in the playoffs.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you could argue he's been the best goalie in the NHL over the last since the 2023 playoffs started. I don't know that there's been a better goalie in the NHL than
More
Sergei
clutch
Bobrovsky.
goalie,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you wanted to win a game right now, I would be hard pressed to not take Sergei Bobrovsky.
Look, no one's got to separate playoff and regular season too with this. It's so tricky. Yeah.
He
I
was
think-
great in the regular season though
I
too
don't think.
last year.
I think
Yeah,
what's
he was,
important
but
is
yeah.
not separating the 2. I think it's combining them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, I'd like to put
Vasilevsky's
Ottinger.
goals against was not very good.
Yeah, but he's still like,
He's still top 5. What about Jeremy Swayman?
no, he's not.
I
there
feel like
yet.
he's just up.
You
He's
don't think?
top 10, not top 5.
But Ilya
Yeah.
Sorokin is.
I mean,
Yes.
I would. Yeah, I would.
I'm in agreement. Yeah.
And then give me Bobrovsky 5.
No Thatcher Demko.
I feel like that.
No.
Were you just about to say Thatcher Demko?
No, I feel like Vasilevsky maybe was top 5, but I don't know if he still is. To be honest,
Really?
did you have him? I mean, the way he was last season, I don't know if he was a top 5 goalie.
I
Maybe
think
I'm
that
thinking the
guy's
year
a
before.
first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think at his
Undoubtedly.
best he was. I'm just saying right now. I don't know.
I think Tampa Bay's gotten a lot worse too.
Yeah,
That's definitely
fair.
true.
That's without question. Yeah.
You went from, the defense core you had winning the first Stanley Cup to, Nick Perbix and, some of these other guys filling it, Darren Radish on the back end. It's a little different now. Anyways, all right. Well, that was fun, Lee. That was a fun idea. We should do more of that. So thoughts on the preseason so far? We talked about Macklin celebrating a little bit. That was pretty cool. We talked about Utah. Anything else really, Justin, at a training camp? Anything exciting you? You guys like when the teams do the doubleheaders like the Panthers and the Predators did yesterday?
I didn't even follow. I was going to ask about that. How did that work?
Well, none of the guys played both games.
Okay. So it's like a varsity game and then a JV game, basically.
Kind of.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it was like split squad. So they had NHLers on both sides.
Do fans get to stay in the building the whole time?
Ooh, I don't know.
Is it 2 for 1? Are you watching 6 hours of preseason?
That'd be a pretty good deal. That'd be pretty nice.
That would be a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Do they keep serving drinks the whole time? Because I know at games they stop serving like third period.
Do they really? I didn't even notice that.
Dude, I went to the first Bears game against Tennessee. Dude, they stopped serving like at the start of the second half. And they do the same thing for Hawks games.
Can you tailgate at Hawks games?
I asked my dad that question, and he like laughed at me.
I don't really see it much when I'm there.
I don't think it really happens anymore. But I think it's not the best setup for that. The problem is that you've got all these different parking lots, Yeah. And it's like,
It's not the best setup for that kind of thing. I never really see much of it when I'm the games I go to, the tailgating.
Hockey doesn't really have a tailgate culture.
Yeah, it's more of a baseball, football thing.
Which it should, Because hockey fans are rowdy as hell. They like to booze.
I think they tailgate before Carolina Hurricanes games.
I think that's something we should do, though.
More of a Southern thing, yeah.
I think the idea of like, well, you can't say it's a Southern thing because like the best tailgate culture in the NFL is Buffalo Bills, probably Bills Mafia, and they're out there in insane snow and weather every single week, firing up the Blackstone. I think that would be an awesome. I think there's like culture changes that can happen as far as like fans go at the Blackhawks. And I think that would be something I'd like if this podcast grows to where we'd all like it to be. Like, I think that would be a really cool thing to try to change.
We could be the architects behind this.
Yeah, why not? If not me, then who?
We've talked about it, like, just with like doing the show, the Good Morning Hockey show. I was telling Justin about like getting guests on and stuff. It's cool, man. Like becoming like part of the culture a little bit. Like that's what we're trying to do. Is like it's cool that like a bunch of people in hockey are like sharing stuff that we're all making and being a part of stuff that like we're part of. We're growing this brand and identity and going out there and I don't know. Like this show I think is going to be a part of the Chicago hockey culture.
I hope so. Yeah, I like the idea of like connecting with people and the fans, and I think that'd be great. Connecting followers of the show, and and
I think
awesome. Tailgates is a good way to do that.
That's something we all want to do. Is like connect with the fans and not inspire, but I want I want everybody to feel the way I feel about the Hawks, like really, really pump people.
Just have that passion,
to have the passion.
Honestly, like as much Blackhawks fans as there are, like how much can we say are honestly on the same level as us as fans? Like that intensity, that 10 out of 10, like hardcore, like diehards. Yeah, there's not many of those, so grow that amount for sure.
Yeah, I want to show people how much fun it is to be like that.
Yes, that into your team. It's a great feeling.
And also it's like if everybody in that stadium is as loud as I am, that would be the best building to play in the league.
I mean, well, the UC at its best come playoff time can be that. I mean, it could definitely be. Maybe not so much the past few years. It hasn't been much to cheer for, but believe me, it can get that way.
Yeah.
I was there for Bedsy's OT goal against the Jets and absolute electricity. The cinema, it was. Oh, I thought it was great. It was like a throwback to the 2010s. That was great.
Chicago is a great sports town. They just have to be engaged.
Yeah, teams need to be good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, NHL preseason is hard to take any stock into. Like especially the first week.
Like Jesse Pugliarvi had a hat trick.
Like you want to see the young kids.
Top 5.
You want to see the young kids. I feel like do well in the first week. 2 even in preseason, like it's more about the kids than it is about
Yeah, if
the
I see
vets.
Patrick Maroon in a preseason game, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, like let
Yeah,
the young guys
yeah.
play. Yeah, let the
Yeah,
young
let
kids.
that
That's
guy
their
go
time.
home to St.
Yeah.
Louis and hang out with his family for a bit. And
Yeah,
then...
yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, no, we don't need these plugs out there.
No, but it is about the kid. Like the Carter Yakimchuk goal, the OT
Oh,
winner
that was sweet.
that was
Yeah.
sweet, and
Yeah. So
you know, I said today on my show that nobody tried, like the veterans aren't really trying in the preseason, and that might have been only like half true. You know, I think some of those guys are definitely giving it. So, you know, it's not really. I don't consider it a pro game. You know, a preseason game. I don't really consider that, or like that's not an NHL game, right? But it's still pretty close to an NHL game.
yeah, because like you have this balance, right? Because you have these young guys who are like fighting for roster spots. Even these fringe guys might be fighting for roster spots. Then you have these established players though, and yeah, they're kind of just chilling. So it's like you kind of have this like this mix of like players in much different situations. So it makes for kind of different games than you would see during the regular season. You know?
Yeah, and for those
Yeah.
established guys, it's basically just cardio, just to get ready for the
Yeah,
start of the
get
season.
the reps
Yeah,
in, you know,
seriously.
shake the rust off, build
Yeah.
some chemistry with the new guys, you know, like a Stamkos in Nashville. Like you arrive to a new team, you got to build that chemistry before the season starts. So for new guys on a team, even I think it's important, right? But if you're a guy who's been around in the league for a while, on a team for a while, the same
useless,
guys,
yeah.
it's not, yeah.
I think Matt Coronado in Calgary's gonna have a big year. I think they're gonna be bad, but he looked really good yesterday. Just that 6 saucer pass on the backhand, that was unreal. But yeah, no, it's hard to take a lot of stock from the preseason here.
Yeah, you can only take away so much. Yeah.
Did you fellas? Well, I know you guys saw it because I had you all watch it, or I had Lee watch it.
Yeah, give us homework assignment.
Yeah. Did you guys see the Amazon trailer? I mean, we all
Yes.
saw it, so we can just talk about it.
No, I'm pumped. I mean, this is exactly what the NHL needs. I mean, they've never known how to market their stars properly. Other sports have understood this, like the NBA, and this Drive to Survive. Like Sean, if you guys have seen Drive to Survive, I'm a big F1 fan,
little
so
bit.
I've seen it, and it's been a big part in increasing popularity of F1 in the United States. I think this can play the same role. I know hockey's obviously NHL's obviously popular in the United States, but I think it's fair to say it's still kind of
It
a
needs
bit
more.
behind
It needs
Canada
more.
with the passion. I mean, with the population, like the potential of hockey in the United States is unparalleled, and I feel like we haven't quite reached that yet. We're getting there; it's improving, but there's still so much more untapped potential. I think the show can help just of increasing popularity. Fans can understand the players more, see more of their kind of behind the scenes, what it's like, and show the personality more, which is what this league desperately needs. So I think the show can help a lot with that. So I'm excited to see how it plays out.
I completely agree, and I think it's become like the status quo in the NHL over the years to like not have personality and just give basic like dump and chase, strong on pucks, like stupid answers over and over again, and like not actually show any sort of character or emotion. And that's super whack because if you're trying to grow the game, you want to grow these players into stars. That's like something that like the UFC have done so well and have changed it into a massive sport is because they build up these fighters as like personalities, as characters. Yeah. And if the NHL wants to succeed on like closer to the levels of the NBA and the NFL in the United States, they need to grow these guys into superstars. You need more superstars, and you need fans to be to like players and not just teams. Yeah. And it looked so similar to you said Drive to Survive. They also do for the English Premier League. It's called All or Nothing, and it's like they follow a team for an entire season. You see like the coach and all the players and the highs and lows of the season. I think it's going to be a great thing for the league and for the sport, and because that's what we all want. You guys see
that McDavid clip they're hyping around. It's not good enough. It's the finals.
Yeah, I was ready to run through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. So these are the players in the doc: David Pastrnak, Jeremy Swayman, Gabe Landeskog, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, Matthew Tkachuk, Philip Forsberg, Jacob Trouba, William Nylander, Quinn Hughes, Jack Eichel, among others. It says.
Where the fuck is Bedsy? I know, honestly, though, he's probably... I'm kind of happy he doesn't have to deal with more media stuff because no one hates that more than him, but, like, I'm a little surprised he's not one of them.
I'm sure they'll do it again, and he will be. I wouldn't even want him to be on it right now, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree.
As we saw, like, I know he was getting hounded by the media his first year. because he's supposed to be the second coming and all this, and I understand
Yes.
that. But he really hasn't. He didn't show any personality like at all, kind of last year. And this year, you've already seen him start to make more jokes.
Yeah, he's been doing
look a little
doing
more
the
loose
live
in
streams.
interviews.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
I think in a couple years when this is also like a good team and he's like knows he's the guy, I think he'll be comfortable to kind of be himself, and that's when I'd want to see him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a teenager now. Like, just let him live, let him play the game. Yeah,
I want to see him.
give
on
him
one
give
of
him
these-
a break from the spotlight for a bit.
Yeah. And like when the team is succeeding, that's when I want to see them. Like,
Yeah, not now.
Not him just
Work
being
over
like after scoring 2 goals and having assists in a game and losing 5-3 and him just being like
we don't need to see that.
questioning his life. Like I don't want to see that.
Amazon's becoming
That's
a
fair.
big part of the NHL too. They got broadcasting rights for Monday Night Hockey in Canada, which is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Apparently, word is that they want to be big players. I think more so in Canada than the United States for the broadcasting rights, because I think Sportsnet only has a few more years left on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of interesting, and maybe that does expand into the U.S. more. I know,
I would hope so.
the
Yeah.
ESPN TNT kind of crew they've been killing it. I mean, TNT, I think more so.
TNT more so than ESPN.
than
Yeah,
ESPN,
it's not even close.
It's
between
always
those two.
it's always going to be last resort to ESPN.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't really feel positive or negative about it. It's just going to be about how they promote it. Like if any of these companies are going to help grow the game, by all means.
Yeah.
I don't care who does it. It's just as long as they're promoting it and not just like, yeah, we got this too because we know people in Canada watch this shit, and then not promote it at all.
I guess they're doing a so I'm looking into this a little bit. Looks like they're gonna do kind of like a NFL Red Zone kind of thing
Oh yeah,
That would be
as
awesome.
well.
That would be great
awesome.
for hockey, man. Oh, especially like that. Like I think they're still doing that game this year. Like everybody's playing, right? The Frozen Frenzy, whatever they call it, something like that. On that day, that would be epic. 16 games going on
Yeah.
at once.
This
Oh,
is from
man.
Sports Illustrated. This is what it says. It'll be called Coast to Coast, Amazon Prime Coast to Coast. Show will air weekly on Amazon Prime beginning Thursday, October 10th. It's being compared to Red Zone. The show will feature live tie-ins to games and highlight celebrity guests, as well as utilizing NHL Edge, the league's sources for all statistics. It's going to have Mark Messier on it, Jody Shelley, Thomas Hickey, Shane Knighty, John Forsland, Adnan Verk, Andy Petrillo, Blake Bolden.
What broadcast company did you say?
This is Amazon.
Amazon? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the concept. I like the
yeah,
idea.
because I'm
Yeah.
so sick. Like when I'm watching during the regular season and during the playoffs, honestly, like first couple rounds, I'm like, I've got my computer, I've got my TV, I've got my
Yeah, I
phone,
know.
I've got like jank
Yeah.
broadcasts up. I'm trying to watch like a couple games at once. There really is nothing that like covers all the game. That would be
It's like
awesome.
it highlights everything at once. Yeah.
Every night that the Blackhawks don't play, that I'm going to watch hockey. I would
This
watch.
would be great.
I would watch
This-
that.
Yes, absolutely. It would really boil it down because a lot of times you have a hard time picking between games, and this would kind of simplify that process for you, give you the best of all worlds. So
And
that'd be
that's starting.
great.
That's starting like October.
October 10th, but that's only for this is only for Canada.
Oh, what? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, this is only for Canada. Which
Well,
is,
no, I'm
other
sure.
woke
I'm sure.
nonsense.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I don't know if I should be saying this on the podcast, but we can find streams of it.
Oh, yeah.
Very
no,
easily.
Oh yeah, no, I always find those illegal streams.
So it looks like just announcing now the Avalanche have signed Logan O'Connor to a 6-year contract extension. I would love to see what the
6 years.
AAV
That's
I
that'd be
would love to
interesting
see what the AAV
Good
on that
PK
is.
guy, good defensive bottom six forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Probably have to check Freege's Instagram account. Yeah, nothing on there about it. So I guess he wasn't the one to it, but yeah, no, I would love to see what the AAV is on that contract. What else, guys? Anything?
I don't.
Tony
really-
D'Angelo signed in Russia. Did you guys?
Oh
see that?
yeah, get ready to learn Russian, buddy.
Yeah. Evander Kane is out 4 to 5
Is it the
months.
Red Star? What team was it?
It's no CSK.
So it's not the Chinese team. Okay.
Does he have like a
Or
hernia?
no, it's not. It's SKA, St. Petersburg.
Oh, Scott. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going there. There was a cool video of him walking around the training facility and stuff like that. Did we talk about Dylan Genther extension on Friday show? I think
No, we did not talk about that. I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great young player, but I mean, want to talk about unproven. I mean, already handing him that much.
73 games in the NHL.
What did
that's a bit risky.
8x7.
8x, yeah, that is, I don't know about that. Definitely a bit high now.
And then he put one into his own net.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. He scored Utah's first goal, but not for them. So, no, don't get me wrong. I think he's a very promising young player, but I don't know. I think that's a little steep there.
Clayton Keller said he could score 50 goals in the NHL.
Himself or Genther?
No, Genther.
Oh.
I think he's just trying to gas his teammate up. I don't know.
I mean, the shot is really good on Genther.
Did Genther's agent say that in the negotiating room? Hey, this fucking guy said he could score 50.
And that's how they got that.
That's a
100 IQ move right there.
The 8x7.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet though. If you're Utah, they used to have, when they were the Coyotes, they used to have so many players that would not stick around after their prime. Like they would just like lose all their best young players, and now it's you got your first guy that's like committed to Utah for a while.
I have a question for you guys. If you were like an elite guy coming off of a like an entry level contract, how many years would you sign for your first contract? Like if it was up to you?
Probably not 8. Probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4. Like I want a shorter deal to really kind of prove myself and see if I want to stay here long term, right? Like what if it's not going so well and I want to jump ship somewhere else? You sign that 8-year deal, that kind of makes that tough, especially the no trade clauses. So I don't know if I want to sign long term. I mean, hopefully in the case of Bedsy, you better sign long term. I think you will, but that's just thinking I
also just think about it like as far as the cap going up. It's like you could get a bigger bag in 3 years. Like sign a bridge deal.
That's kind of what I was
go for
thinking,
your bag in 3 or 4 years. Like I don't know if I'd. Like
he's kind of already getting that back though. I mean, 8.7.
No. Like if you think $7 million is probably going to be the best you're going to get, then sure. But like, if you can be in that 10 range, I'd hold off.
The AAV on the Logan O'Connor deal is 2.5 according to Chris Johnston.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, that is a really good deal.
Actually, pretty fair.
6 years. Yeah. We'll kick in next season, obviously, but I think that's a good deal for a piece like that.
Yeah, no, I mean that's can't complain about that.
25 points in 57 games. That's some pretty good production.
Yeah, and you're signing more for his defensive, PK stuff. So yeah,
it's kind of a you feel like that if you're Logan O'Connor, that's like selling yourself short a little bit, or
I was thinking maybe money. 3.5, but that's pretty fair though.
It's guaranteed money though.
Somebody shoves $15 million in front of your face, and it's kind of hard to turn down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for like over a decent amount of time, especially I feel like bottom 6 guys like
you can't really afford to ask.
Yeah, they care about term as much as length. As much
unless you're a Blackhawk, I'm not gonna get 4.5 billion like Dickinson and Foligno.
Dickinson only has this year left on his contract, right? Or does he have another year?
I think it's 2 years.
Yeah,
it's 2. Yeah, both he and Flegger are 2 years.
Yeah.
3-1 in that Buffalo Columbus game. A lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other games around the NHL, including another doubleheader, Flames Oilers. So,
Battle of Alberta.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah, I think
the pissy they're making us Hawks fans wait till Wednesday. What's up with that, man? We got the last team. I swear to start
a little bit.
Yeah, second year in a row. This shit, man.
They don't play any doubleheaders, do they? The Hawks? No, they'll just spread them out, make them play. Yeah, they play. That would
have been fun if we could have figured that out and gone to a doubleheader and just been in the United Center for 7 hours.
Yeah,
I don't know how it's going to work at this Friday and Saturday games. I know the Wednesday game I know is going to be on the Hawks website, but the CHSN thing doesn't start until October 1st. So I think for the 27th and 28th games, I think they might just be on the radio. I don't know. Maybe we can find a stream or something. But I hope you'll be able to watch those games somehow. I don't know.
I heard that there were going to be like a couple just on the radio. So
that blows. Yeah. That really blows.
So they don't even really know how this. Yeah, so they don't even really know how this transition is going to go, do they?
They've announced some stuff. It'll be like, some places, but I feel like we still don't really know a whole lot, to be honest. And who knows what it's going to be like in terms of quality. Probably not as good as NBC Sports Chicago was, but it's not really ideal, but we'll see how it plays out, I guess.
So this isn't like a spinoff of NBC, though.
No, it's a separate thing. It's a
separate thing.
Yeah.
So what, they bought out they bought all the contracts. You know, like they like
A lot of
Rick
the same
Ball.
people are going to be there.
Yeah, why is it happening? Did like NBC not want to do it anymore?
It's just
Did they
shutting
get
down.
bought?
NBC Sports Chicago is just shutting down.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit with some of the moves and stuff, but you know, that's a big situation going on in the city here. It's going to change how
I
at
wonder
least the
if there's
Cubs are
just
safe.
like there's not enough money in like local broadcasting anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Are you guys Cubs fans or Sox fans? I forgot to ask.
Unfortunately, I'm a Sox fan. I hate myself for that, but like I stay loyal to my team. I grew up, and as a Sox fan, so I'm not going to jump ship. So, but yeah, it kind of sucks.
I'm a Cubs fan. I didn't really care about baseball until like high school when the Cubs.
I
were
imagine you
good.
guys are Cubs fans, Wrigleyville and all that.
Yeah, so I'm a Cubs fan, but I have not followed this year. Cubs pitcher, Stallion, I think his name is. He was in my restaurant. I was taking care of him like a couple days ago.
Oh,
Who's the Cubs pitcher as Chelsea Daggers, the walk-up song? Isn't that Shota? Or yeah,
Oh, probably yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Japanese
that's
guy.
pretty cool.
Naga.
yeah.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
One actually, well, today's been fun. We have no hockey really to talk about. Blackhawks don't even open up until Wednesday. God knows what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. But I have a fun question for you guys, and we can wrap here. Thoughts on a PWHL expansion team coming to Chicago?
I'd love to see it. There's no reason there shouldn't be a women's hockey team here. I mean, it's a perfect market for it. I mean, I think it would do well here. Women's hockey in Chicago. I know it's gotten a lot better. So I definitely think there's a market for it, and I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Where would they play?
I don't know where they would play.
I don't know, maybe
All-State?
All-State Arena. Yeah.
That kind of
That sucks.
yeah, that's
Like,
tough
I'm
putting them
sorry,
out
I'm
there.
not. I probably wouldn't go to a game if it's at Allstate.
Yeah, I
No,
mean, at
what's-
least you're not
what's
like the
wrong
New
with
York
I don't know
fans
if
like
I'm
going to New
driving.
Jersey.
Yeah, but it's
It's technically closer.
It's going to be hard for a women's team to succeed that way. I feel like
You think it's
Wintrust-
got to be closer to city or downtown?
Wintrust doesn't have the capacity for ice.
they don't.
No, apparently it was like a building thing. Like the United Center basically told
They're not going to play in the
Wintrust.
UC. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think they would let them play in the UC. I think you could honestly not sell it out every night, but I think you could get pretty close. I think you could get pretty close
For women's
so,
hockey.
Yeah,
wait, and
dude.
which
UC?
arena? All-State or UC?
UC.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think you could. Have you seen some
These
of these
down
games?
years, for the Blackhawks, they weren't even close to selling out most games.
Maybe eventually, not right away. It would take a lot of time
It would
Yeah.
take a lot of
to
time.
build it up.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be anywhere near.
I think if they were good,
All-State Arena, maybe.
You went to Chicago
potentially.
Wolves games all the time. What did that?
But
look
even
like?
those don't sell. I mean, if those don't sell out, then I don't know.
but
how-
they're in the
I don't know.
suburbs. They're
Well, so
you
was the
know,
Allstate. So where would they play again?
That's why I said I was talking about the United
So
Center.
but do you think the Wolves would like sell out the United Center?
No, because
No.
it's the Wolves.
You
Hey,
It's not the
you
National
think-
Hockey League. Like the PWHL
But yeah, but
is the
the-
best
Do you think
women's
there's
hockey.
more demand for the PWHL than there is for
The
like
American
Yeah,
hockey-
wait a
yes.
minute. If,
Really?
if you're
Yes.
saying an
I don't know if
AHL
that's
team
true.
would sell, but you think a PWHL team would? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
I think there's more demand
with
for
Lee on this one.
PWHL hockey than AHL hockey.
I think maybe you're around a lot of people that are really pumped about the PWHL, but I think the regular hockey fan,
Would rather go see like what the Iowa Wild, you know?
Rockford.
I'm all
versus
for the
Chicago Wolves.
PWHL, but I personally, I'd rather watch the AHL. That's just
You'd rather watch the oh, okay, fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I'd rather watch my team's AHL.
Yeah,
team.
my team, not some
I'd
random.
rather
team.
watch the
Not some random like the Ice Hogs or the Wolves.
Yeah, I'd rather
here.
watch.
Like, that's-
I'd
yeah.
rather watch the Ice Hogs than the PWHL.
But I guess
But
like,
if it's another
the
team,
team in the
then,
city
yeah.
is the Wolves. So you're telling me you'd rather watch the Wolves
No,
than a PWHL Chicago team?
I used to like going to Wolves games as a kid, but I've kind of haven't really watched them as much recently. But,
I'm not a
Like the Wolves
huge-
and the Hawks aren't affiliated.
It's
the
still
only-
Chicago though. I don't
The
know,
only
still
like
supportive.
women's sports I really watch, I feel like, is soccer.
Okay.
I feel
Women's
like I'm
hockey's on the
really
rise,
tapped
though. I
in.
mean, it's definitely got a lot better. There's a lot of talent there. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it could be fun to watch.
I think
Chicago.
women's hockey is probably not like as high of a level as like basketball or soccer is.
Here.
No, but it's definitely.
Or just in
it's-
general.
it's getting better.
Yeah.
It's getting better. Yeah. But yeah, no.
Well, they have to get this league going. I think the big problem with that league right now is you have a lot of good players on the outside looking in.
Yeah, not enough teams. Not
Yeah,
enough
there's
teams.
not enough teams. So
Yeah, I mean, Chicago just makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the best, one of the biggest cities in the country.
they did neutral site games in Detroit and Pittsburgh last year. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I think you do it. Like you put, and there are some other cities where like definitely might be more popular. You know, like a Seattle or like a Portland would be really cool. Or, you know, there are definitely like more teams in Canada. You know, I'm sure Vancouver would love a women's hockey team. You know, same goes for a few other cities. So I think Chicago's like should be on the radar at least.
Yeah,
like I think
absolutely.
You
I
know,
hope so. Yeah.
I think it would do like better numbers here than it would in a lot of other markets.
Yeah, one of the best
For
hockey
sure.
markets out there.
For
For
sure.
sure.
Especially
Yeah.
if they were good and like the girls were like good personalities. And,
Again, the problem is the location of where they play.
yeah, that is the problem.
Like if there was a smaller ice rink in Chicago, I'd say 100%.
Yeah,
But the whole All-State Arena, Sears Center, whatever it's called now.
it's all state.
No, there's another stadium on
Oh.
Route 59. It's like 59 and 90. I grew up pretty close to it. It was called the Sears Center. I don't know what it's called now, but it's a smaller.
Oh, I
arena.
know what place you're talking about.
It's
There was
even-
like a.
It's
Was that
further
the place like that UHL team played, the Chicago Hounds or something? Whatever that team was.
Maybe here. Let me check.
I know it's a decently sized hockey rink. I think it's like 10,000 back. That's pretty. That's a ways out, isn't it?
It's smaller. Yeah, so it's further than the All-State Arena.
Yeah, so
It's in like Barrington.
Yeah, that's. I think I know what you're thinking of.
Yeah,
I played a lot of hockey rinks in the area.
the USHL. You know, they play at like St. Charles, the Steel.
Yeah, I don't think
in
it's
Hoffman
that big of a
Estates.
rink.
It's
right?
called the
Yeah.
Now Arena.
No, not really. I mean, you can fit a couple thousand in there.
Yeah.
It's called the Now Arena
Yeah, and its seating is
for hockey.
like 10,000 people.
That capacity would be perfect. But the location just doesn't
Here, just
work
look
out.
at
You guys also see the Bloomington Bison in the ECHL?
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Have
Yeah,
you guys
finally-
Did you see the jerseys and the logo?
Are they sick?
I have not seen that.
They like the only part about it that's like kind of goofy is like you have it's like the Chicago. It looks like our album cover. It looks like the
Oh.
Chicago flag, and it's like, oh, aren't they in Bloomington?
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Have you
Yeah.
seen my
They
Peoria
identify
Rivermen
themselves as
jersey?
Chicago.
you have a Peoria Riverman jersey.
It's so sick.
Who's on the back? Anybody?
No one. My
okay.
my girlfriend's mom got it for me for like Christmas, I want to say.
Okay,
It's so hard. I'll wear it for the next episode.
that is really cool.
It's a
You should.
sick jersey.
Justin, what's the
logo's insane.
craziest jersey you own?
I can't even think off the top of my head. A Felix Potman Maple Leafs jersey. I have no idea why I have that, but I do.
so random.
It's
That's
so
so random.
random.
That's so
I don't even
random.
know how I got that. I was like a kid. It just showed up like in my
I
closet.
have a
I'm like,
few
okay, I
like
have this now.
cool. I have a Labatt blue jersey that's like pretty hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other good ones I have like a Ghost Patrick Kane jersey. It's like gray. It's like
What?
when I wear it to games, people always ask me like, "Where'd you get that?" I got it as a gift like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I need to get more niche hockey jerseys.
Yeah, I don't have a lot
I
of
need to
niche
start
sport, just
swagging a
like
little more. I need to
mainstream.
start swagging a little more
Yeah,
on
get more
on the
drip
podcast.
going. Yeah, I haven't really been wearing. I put the Hawks hat on. At least that's something. I don't know. I don't have much of a background or nothing. Or
I
by
was
working
with
that.
I was with Hayden at Zara today. Sorry, this is off topic, but I was with Hayden at Zara today, and she was like returning a dress, and I was just like standing there, like kind of arms crossed, like on my phone, and a woman comes up to me and is like, "I need help in the shoe section. I need to look for my size. Can you have somebody like help me out?" I'm like, "What?"
Like, I thought you were in players.
She's like, can you help me out in the shoe section? I need to look for my shoes. I go, I don't work here. she was
That's
like,
so funny. They thought you were.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, dude, what?
Oh, you look
I'm
like
wearing
the
a-
look like the Slim Shady over there.
I'm also wearing camo pants and a Gatorade t-shirt. Like, what do the employees at Zara wear? It's so funny.
That's funny.
So all right, as grown men, when is it appropriate? Because I think like wearing a hockey jersey as fashion is coming back
Yeah, it is.
a little bit.
Oh yeah,
They're
insane
cool.
aura.
Yeah, I think it's coming back.
It's
but
all
like
about the pants that you wear with it, though.
that's an interesting take.
Yeah.
What do
to
you
match
mean?
the jersey.
So like I don't think like if you just wear a hockey jersey and like regular blue jeans, it doesn't look that cool. But I
Okay.
think if you wear like some cargo pants or something with it, some shades or like a cool hat or something, I think
Yeah.
that's
You're
trip.
tripped out. That's a
Yeah.
great look. See that rappers a lot of times they'll be wearing like a jersey with a chain or
Exactly
something. Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because when it comes to jerseys, I think there's no jerseys in sports that look cooler than hockey jerseys, NHL jerseys.
Yeah.
The Hawks don't have or they do have an ad right on the jersey.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like circa some betting thing.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta throw that into like the priority patch and ruin it. That's
The
great.
Leafs is sick. They got
It's like
Oreo.
Oreo
They
and
got
the milk.
Oreo and milk.
Yeah. The
That's
dairy
sometimes it
farmers.
works okay, but not with some freaking betting thing. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I think the Oreo looks kind of goofy on the helmets.
Yeah. I'd love if it
Circus-
was like a Chicago thing. Like if they had like Miller Lite or like or
It's not even
Portillo's
our
or
own
some shit.
thing. I think like Vegas has circa too. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not even
sure.
like it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure.
Interesting. All right. Well, that'll wrap it for NHL Hour of Chicago Hockey Radio. Not a lot of NHL, but we bounced around.
We had fun.
We kept it on the rails.
Guys can't fuck around.
Vibes are high.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of the preseason. We'll be back before the Hawks play their first game still, so a couple more days of practice underway. And we will be back to you live Wednesday morning. Not live, actually. But
I'm not going to be on that show, but hopefully we go to the game on Wednesday, and then we can maybe do a little post-game thing.
cool.
You just got to keep throwing it in there. You guys are going to be at the game. I hope you guys have fun.
Sorry, Justin.
So it'll be
it's
me,
all good.
Justin, and Raven. And
Yeah.
we'll be back Wednesday. So
right.
thanks, everybody, for
Sweet.
tuning in. See you
Thanks for
then.
watching, guys.